vote. The yeas are 227, the nays are 205. The bill is passed.
The House passes a $1.5 trillion tax package in a near party line vote. It's the first step in a multi-stage process to overhaul corporate and personal taxes. Good evening from Washington, D.C. Thank you to those of you joining us from around the world for news from a Catholic perspective. I'm Lauren Ashburn. The House passes its version of the Republican tax overhaul. It cuts taxes for corporations from 35% to 20% and offers tax relief for some middle and working class families. Its fate is now in the hands of the Senate.
Is it better than what we have now, which is at best 31 years old and driving businesses offshore? Yes, it is.
The tax scam won't create jobs. It won't raise wages, as I said. It will only fill the coffers of donors and the fat cats.
We have team coverage of the vote. Correspondent Mark Irons will show us why this initial step is a big win for President Trump. But we begin at the Capitol with correspondent Jason Calvi, who tells us about the religious implications. Good evening, Jason.
Good evening, Lauren. The tax reform bill would get rid of the Johnson Amendment. Since 1954, it stopped preachers and other nonprofits from endorsing political candidates. If they did, they'd risk losing their tax-exempt status. That's not the only part of today's bill gaining attention of Christians.
If candidates support the things that we as a church family believe, then we ought to be able to say this one does and that one doesn't.
Representative Jody Heiss is a Southern Baptist minister. He tells me the ban on nonprofits endorsing candidates threatens his freedom to preach.
The Bible addresses a lot of political issues, and pastors have the responsibility. As a pastor for over 25 years, I have the responsibility to preach and teach the Word, even when that deals with political issues. And it's important to be able to teach the whole council.
But Democrats say getting rid of the Johnson Amendment is bad news for spreading the good news.
By repealing the Johnson Amendment, you have the potential of creating conflict in the pews. You could be creating Republican and Democratic churches and mosques and synagogues overnight.
Go, 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 go.
The first major rewrite of the tax code in 3 decades keeps the adoption tax credit, which helps adopting families cover some of the tens of thousands of dollars in adoption costs. The U.S. bishops urged lawmakers to save that credit. Bishop Frank Duane of Venice, Florida, is the chairman of the U.S. Bishops' Committee on Domestic Justice. He says the adoption tax credit is worth more than any dollar amount.
Financially, we're not talking about large amounts of money at all, the adoption tax credit. However, it does say who we are as a nation, who we are as a country that is supporting life, who we are, a country that says children have a right to a family, a mother and father.
Bishop Duane tells congressmen that the GOP tax plan is unacceptable. He says he's worried with estimates the bill will, by 2023, lead to higher taxes for the working poor. They're also worried the plan could hurt charities. Indiana University finds the bill could lead to charities losing billions of dollars. Lauren?
Jason, why is that?
Because the plan doubles the standard deduction, and so more people would then take it, but only people who itemize can claim the charitable deduction. The worry is less people will have the extra motivation to donate.
Capitol Hill correspondent Jason Calvi. Thank you, Jason.